Hello again, and welcome to the show. And today I'm joined by Steve Samuels from SingleOps to share lots of insights about the software platforms that he's in charge of. How are you doing, Steve?
Wonderful, Graham. Appreciate you having me. Been nice getting to know you over the last couple of years, and I'm excited that you asked us to be involved with your new podcast. Thank
Like I
you.
said, I've been excited to speak to you for the longest time, and I wanted to sort of delay that a little bit before I forget to press the record button or something and make a mess of it.
I get it.
So I'm always asking people, at least this is my plan, the first question before we start getting into things. And that question is from your perspective, and particularly from your perspective as somebody who works on software platforms for arborists, what separates the successful tree service companies from those that are really struggling?
Great question to get started with. I mean, in my opinion, in my business background, there's three main areas. Uh, First is having a standard operating procedure, right? Most people get into this business because it's like, hey, I want to go take down a limb, or I know how to do that. And someone asks them to do it, and they do it, and they're like, this is awesome. I love the response of a customer, and they get excited about it. Then they got to go buy something because the next person wants to do something they can't do without a piece of equipment. And it just goes to always falling behind the next person asking them to do something. The top companies in the country, the ones that have a standard operating procedure, they're the ones that say, here's our vision of what the company's going to be, and they're able to build that. And yeah, you start off slow, but the concept is once you really want to throw gasoline in your fire, right, you're figuring out the standard operating procedure, and then from that point, you're looking at saying, okay, how do I build a great place to work at? And that's going to help you with your onboarding of your employees and with giving them hope for the future so that everyone's working together as a team, knowing that everybody's job is to help build the replacement and setting a place where people are not always searching for $2 an hour more. They're looking to what they can do better because we're paying them, we're educating them, we're helping them. Even if they tell us their goal is to build their own company, great, come on in, let's do that together, right? And when those are both set in place and correct, then to really streamline and to get your flywheel turning and create ripple for your company, it's your job costing, really knowing the
Mm.
hours you have for the year, understanding what you're doing with those hours, and maximizing them. A lot of times when I spent time at companies, when I did a lot of consultation and business consulting. I would go in and someone says, hey, here's my last 50 jobs. I got money in the bank. I'm doing great, aren't I? And I was like, well, you made money on the top 30, the bottom 20, you didn't. But
Mm.
it's better to have not done them or to have increased the price or to have found a different clientele to have been able to take those hours. Now you can afford every piece of equipment. You can be able to afford paying your employee a lot more than what you thought you could, right? So those mistakes we make all come back to the fact that in our industry, very few of us start off knowing math, and math is a learned skill. And
Mm.
the companies that succeed understand math.
And what I'm hearing, it all comes down to planning. It comes down to effectively forecasting, maybe for your first year in the industry, what you want to achieve at the end of the year, instead of buying a chainsaw and going working on trees and then getting the next job. Right? It makes a lot of
100%.
sense. I mean, it's just business, I guess.
Putting people around you that you trust in that will
Yeah.
communicate and tell you the truth, not a whole bunch of yes people.
Right. Got it. Perfect. So, Steve, share a bit about your role as a senior account executive with LMN, Greenius, SingleOps, which there's a lot of things there now.
A lot of moving pieces.
That's it. How you got into the industry as well, and what you're doing right now.
I got in the industry back as a school teacher at my high school. Said, "Hey, I do irrigation systems. I've seen how you are as a student. I'd like to hire you as an employee." So I worked for him. Start off there. Went into work for a wholesaling company for irrigation. I did a lot of things in the irrigation industry, including turning water off and on for the city of Colorado Springs, saving $500,000
Hmm.
from a cell phone for the first time in the history of what had happened. I went to work for the largest company that I did business with and went in to help them with their processes. And that company was a all-in-one arborist, landscaping, street sweeping. It was just a, hey, we take care of your
Mm.
property and do whatever you need us to do kind of company, and help them get to 20 million. So that was my
Wow.
background. I did some consulting work, got headhunted to come to Virginia Beach and to help another company get to 20 million, which I did. And then I got to the point of saying, hey, I have 100 employees at both locations. I really wanted to do something, give back to the industry at this point in my career and take the knowledge and understanding of what I've done and accomplished and the things I've learned, and be able to share with others. And when I found SingleOps 4.5 years ago, I was like, oh my goodness, this can reinvent a whole bunch of people that need partnerships. They need someone to hold their hand. They
Mm.
need somebody to really help their process because they're really good at felling a tree or taking a video, or an understanding that, hey, I can get up at 4 a.m. and work till 9 p.m., sun up to sundown, and do really well. But sometimes working harder is not smarter. So I kind of taken as my role to help the industry to be able to get better.
That's fantastic. Wow.
Hmm.
Unbelievable experience. What
Oh, thank
is the
you.
difference between LMN, Greenius, and SingleOps then?
Great question. So last year, Single Ops have been doing really well, and creating ourselves as the number one software in the tree industry. And when I say that, that's number one of users, right? There's some
Mm.
companies that are better off with some other platforms, and I always help lead people towards the right platform for what they're doing, showing them positives and negatives. There's not one thing that's a one size fits all. It's really about the process. So when I learn and listen to somebody's experience where they're headed, what they're trying to do, then I'm able to communicate with the best option. But single ops is the number one by number of users in the industry. And last year, we were given the opportunity to be able to purchase LMN and Greenius. LMN is the largest landscape software
Mm.
in North America, and Greenius is the number one trading platform in North America. So when that's all said and done together, right, we now have a platform that's really trying to be that number one partner in the industry to help everybody at wherever level and whatever thing that they're trying to accomplish. So it's really exciting for me because, being in a role of my whole life, I want to be partners with customers, partners with my teammates, and now being in a software that really can touch the entire industry for the first time ever. And of course, as we've talked about with AI coming down the road and all
Mm.
kinds of things, we're really set up to make some special things happen and
Mm.
to really listen and learn. And our CEO, Mark Sedgley, oh my goodness, he's all about really tuning in, listening, traveling, listening to customers, what's working well, what isn't, what they need help with, and that true partnership. And he is driven and has made sure that all of us are driven to be able to make those things happen. So I'm really excited because over the next couple of years, I know where we're headed, and I'm just beyond my wildest dreams. So
Well,
I'm
you,
very excited about the process.
oh yeah, you guys are certainly making an impact because in the TCIA expo, I had a booth right next to you guys, and I couldn't compete. I mean, you had flashing lights, axe throwing, people around. The enthusiasm was really amazing. Actually, I have to
And
say.
it's about fun, Graham, right? You were there. I went over and
Yeah,
saw you, sent some
yeah,
people your way too,
yeah.
because what you do is so important in the industry. But the concept for us is that this, let's be honest, this isn't the fun part. The fun part is felling the tree. The fun part is, like guilty of treason. One of my customers in Washington's got 1.5 million YouTube followers.
Hmm.
And I talked with him from a hotel room last year, and we talked about his business. And he's like, I have 1.5 million followers. I don't know how to run my business.
Hmm.
Everything is about what I'm doing to fell a tree and to take a video. And I have all these people in, but I don't know how to take care of my guys. I don't know how to build my business. I don't know
Hmm.
how to take my marketing and to take my tools and these relationships I have and take them to the next level. So what I love about that is just exactly what it is. Here's this guy with 1.5 million YouTube followers that's like, how can I make my business better?
Yeah,
And I'm like, number one, celebrate what you've done.
right.
People want to see a tree that fell. They want to see a camera angle on what's going on. People love that. They don't like this. So for what single ops has tried to do is we got to make things fun
Hmm.
because nobody says, hey, I can't wait to get back to my software and to my marketing and to be able to push buttons when you've gotten up at 4 or 5 a.m. and you've worked all day and you're coming back to have a little meal with the family. The last thing you want to do is sit there and work on a platform. So what we have to do is say, this is fun. It's better than it is by you doing by yourself. And the concept is the more you lean into it,
Hmm.
the more time you're going to build back into your schedule. You want
Hmm.
that time to be more time with your wife and kids. You want that time to be more time into marketing of your existing services. the things that you think you can't do, and opening up the world of a guy comes home from the end of his day going, man, I wish I could reach out to these people and figure out what was going on. All these customers I've done all this work for, and I have this great idea, but I don't have time.
Mm.
And we give them back the time to allow
Mm.
them to take that relationship they built, because you do a great job of helping people understand what's your role, what's your market, how can you get more people to come in. And then single ops is how do you run your business. And now that you have these people you built relationships with, you told them where you'd be, you sold them a job, you did the job, you gave it to them at the same price you said you do, you built a relationship. How are you following up with this relationship? And a lot of guys,
Mm.
as you know, aren't. They don't follow up with it. They're like, when someone wants me, they call me.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like,
Yeah.
man, half of it is like you need new leads. You need to understand what people are needing in your area. And that's the great things that I see you doing to help people. And
Mm.
then single ops is the backside of it. Once you have a relationship, how are we communicating with those people that have already done work with us? How are we letting them know we're in the area? How are we letting them know we did new services? I decided to do Christmas lights 15 years ago. And I had guys that just didn't have enough hours during the winter. I did a marketed email and brought in 10% increase in the company size in
Amazing.
6 weeks.
Amazing. With
And,
a little bit of effort, right?
but people don't in our industry, they don't want to do that effort. It's
Yeah.
not the fun part. The fun part's felling the tree. The
Yeah.
fun part's pushing the button on that nice piece of equipment. As you and I go to trade shows and we see out there when those pieces of equipment are there, and guys in our industry do what? Push a button, have a joystick, they watch something come, and they're like, man, I can get to a lot of jobs. They're not thinking as much of how much money they're going to make. They're thinking, when I
Mm.
told all these people last year I couldn't help them, I can now. And that's what's so great and down to earth
Mm.
about our industry. It's not like, hey, this piece of equipment is going to maximize my profitability to make me even better. No, it's now I can help Mrs. Smith with her issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what separates this industry.
Yeah.
That's why I love this industry. And that's what makes and separates us with what we do. And single ops are like, hey, you hate doing this, but let's make it fun and let's help you because it's not that tough. And now you're going to be able to really take care of your wife, take care of your kids, take care of your
Mm.
customers, be organized, and you'll be better around the clock with what you're doing. Yes, there's a steep, let's get started, and it takes some fear. But then once you do it, I can't tell you how many hugs I get at trade shows
Mm.
now from
I've
people
seen
saying,
it.
hey, yeah, my life has changed, Steve. You came in and told me to just handle it, and you've seen it. And
Yeah.
that's what drives me, Graham.
And I had at the TCIO Expo, I had people coming up to me saying that about you.
Mm.
Actually, it was really something, and you can tell you really care about what you do. And I'm a climber actually, so I climb rock and I teach climbing as well, and rock and ice. So I love the gear, I love the gadgets. So every time I go to a show, I was just at the tree climbing competition down in Kingston this past Friday. Every time I go down there, I'm looking at gear, and the booth's always packed with people. But when you see, a little software company or a marketing booth, no, everybody's walking past.
Yeah, we have to catch them in the net.
We have to catch them because actually, in my opinion, business is incredibly fun as well. And if you do a good job and you improve your processes, not only does that bring in more revenue and more jobs for you, that stress goes away, hopefully,
100%.
and life gets a lot more fun as well.
100%. And that's
Right?
why it attracted me to you with our conversations over the last couple of years, as I see your heart. I know that you care and that you're trying to make a difference. And again, when somebody's
Right.
based on that, you can trust them.
Right.
Does everyone always make the right choices? Does everybody do the right things in their businesses? No. It's not about perfection. It's about learning from your mistakes and moving
Right.
forward. But again,
Right.
if you got a team of partners around you that are there to help you up,
Right.
that's what makes life really good, and it's what
Yeah.
takes care of things. Because
Yeah.
nowadays we have to be that way, right?
Yeah.
The times of just walking into a situation and having fish and just jumping in with your hands and fishing, that's over. You're competing against bigger companies. You're competing against people that want to do things in a different way when you're
Mm.
out in the industry now, right? So like putting yourself up there, separating what makes you different from other people is really key. And a lot of times the bigger companies sometimes lose that partnership. And it's so helpful for companies that are trying to grow and get into that spot of looking professional, listening to people, helping with their processes to get to the next level. Because that's, like we said, this is not the fun part of running a tree company. But this is the part that separates the companies that have stability and growth from those that are trying to scrape up enough
Right.
dough to make the payment for the lift next month.
Right. So I want to dive into SingleOps a little bit, actually. And I'm going to pretend for a minute that I'm an arborist who's using spreadsheets, pens and paper to do my work, because I meet these guys all the time. I'm like, do you not have a CRM? I just use a spreadsheet. uh, I have one arborist I know who works purely on his phone as well, and that is an application that's worse than a spreadsheet. So what's the main reason that a company would adopt software like yours, and SingleOps in particular, the platform as a whole? How would it help me as a spreadsheet user be able to grow?
Great question. What creates separation for SingleOps from other competitors is the ability to flip your tablet around and to get that job
Hmm.
right away. Um, you can use some different invoice to go. There's some different things like Jobber as well that are very simple for a
Mhm.
guy in a truck that are really good platforms from going to pen and paper to be able to be used. Where SingleOps takes software to the next level is the ability to pull up here, Mr. Customer's your yard. Here's where my guys are going to park. This is where we're walking in. Here's the area we're going to avoid. Here are the trees we're going to prune. Here's the tree inventory of your property, of the job of the trees that we're going to manage for you over the rest of the future. So that gives us the ability to be able to separate ourselves, right? When you're going out to be able to do that compared to a lot of the other companies. You got your videos that can be linked, you got your pictures, you got everything you need, but you're getting the job from the person right there. Because a lot of guys who go back and have carbon paper or say, I'll send you a quote, they're spending time chasing the job because they're getting ghosted because they like the person, but they got another bid coming in 2 hours. That person has a SingleOps, that person signs them up, and
Mhm.
now all that time that person's going to be doing that contractor to communicate back with the customer is just going to be wasted time because they don't want to talk to you because they like you and they're hoping you just go away. And now you're trying to follow up with this. That's why SingleOps automatically follows up with your proposals and invoices for you. But the concept is nowadays flipping a tablet, showing a customer exactly what their property is, showing them the pricing, allowing them to do financing, credit card, ACH, signing it off, and now being able to take that document, dropping it to a calendar, and then any of your crews have all the data they need. All you do is drop it to their calendar in their day. Now that crew that's logging in for free, or that subcontractor, has where to park, what to do. Here's the pictures. This is what we've agreed to with the customer, and they have all that in real time. Which does what? Too many guys who are small in our industry say, "Hey, I went and met with Mrs. Smith last week," and they go out and give her a bid. They go and they send her a deal update, or they email or text or something. She signs it. Now they go back and take the crew out there to go and show them where the tree is down.
Mhm.
Where SingleOps helps is the ability to just drag and drop that job that's been signed by the customer the first time you met with them. And now your crew can go and do that. And everything that you learned from that job is there. Now you're out getting more work. So a lot of guys, that goes back to that math. If 3 days a week you're spending an hour or two every morning going and showing a crew what to do that you don't have to be there for, gas and time, you're spending $300-400. A lot of people don't get that. They don't understand that portion, right? Because you're saving that money to go get another bid to be able to
Mhm.
grow. And they're like, well, I have enough work. Well, do you have friends? Yes. Well, then go ahead and subcontract it to them, make 20% of the cut for you. Now you're increasing what you're able to do. Get yourself a bug and start a PhD program,
Mhm.
right? Lots of other ways to be able to take cash to pay for the vehicles, to pay for the team that you're putting together, right? It's just about working outside it. But in our industry, it's like, well, great. You know, uh, I'm out here and I need to go show the crew what to do because they can't do it without me. And I'm like, ooh,
Yeah. So
McDonald's would have one store if
right.
McDonald's was run that way.
Yeah. Right. So I'm seeing, first of all, there's efficiency of crews on a site. There's efficiency of the whole pipeline from getting the work to fulfilling the work. There's money savings there, and from a customer point of view, flipping that tablet as well. I mean, there's a professional view that I see. I want to engage with these professionals because I don't know about you, Steve, but I feel if somebody comes up with a piece of paper and writes something down or shows me a spreadsheet, I'm not sure I want to work with them. Right?
You may like them, but it's just like a
Sure.
dating website, right? You're not going to show up on the first date with
Mm,
somebody wearing shorts and flip flops to a nice restaurant.
right.
Unless you want nothing to happen from the date moving forward because you're like you don't
Mm,
want anything part of it. So many guys in our industry flip around carbon paper. They have paper, they're doing that, and they're losing out on the chance to tell the customer why they should pick them.
right.
Look at me, you can't tell using single ops if I'm 1 or 50 crews. Look at me, I'm showing you pictures of every piece of equipment and why that piece of equipment is important to me, not
Mm,
messing up your yard. Number three, I'm showing you a picture of your yard. That is important to a customer. That's their baby,
yeah.
right? If you're just putting on a piece of
Mm,
paper and a carbon and you're like, well, it's a transaction, then that's how they're going to treat you, a transaction, whether or not they agree with you. And you're coming here going, this is your baby. I get it. I'm bringing in a spider lift because if you don't and you use this, which someone else may save you $100 with, but now this is going to happen on your property and I don't want your property to be damaged. And I also see as we walked around, there's a shrub that's beating up your garage that when you pull out, it's scraping your car. And we opened the fence in the backyard, there was a stump. I threw those on there as options. A lot of guys don't want to
right.
propose anything because they don't want to be salesy, and they don't want, and the customer doesn't want to talk about all the things you can do because they think you're trying to sell them until they know what the price is for what they called you out to do.
Mm,
So single ops is allowing you to say, here's the price. And oh, by the way, here's everything else we could do while we're here. Because if that price is 1,800 and the last guy was 2,500, and they've already agreed in their minds that $700 is there, and you're adding pruning and shrubs and taking out or starting a fertilization program,
right.
and you're doing that for the same price, you're going to be handed that work. The billions of dollars that we transact, I see about a 25% increase
Mm,
in the
mm,
number of sales for somebody who just throws extra things on there. Not trying to be salesy,
yeah.
not trying to talk to the customer beforehand, just putting it on there in case that money is there. And in today's world, right, that pays for software. You do that one time a month,
Mm,
your entire operating system and that your tech stack is paid for. Single
yes.
ops and whatever
Yeah.
else you're using,
Yeah.
one time a month where someone adds a little bit more money to it. Because single ops, I mean, for a lot of people starts at, you're spending $8, $9 a day. And
Yeah.
one person the other day go, oh, well, I'm going to spend $8 or $9 a day. I'm good. And I'm like, well, what is good? And what do you charge? 150. Why couldn't you charge 151? And you to think I just asked like, Einstein's theory of, eyes popped up going, well, what told you you need to charge 150? I'm showing you how this is
Right.
going to save you money.
Right.
You're like, whatever, you're a salesman. And I'm like, okay, well, let's just increase what we're selling by $1. How many jobs are you going to lose if you're at 151? Well, none. Well, it sounds like we're just afraid then. And that's kind of the process, right? Because again, we go back to in our industry, people like to do what they're doing and they like to fell trees and they like to
Mm,
take pictures and
mm,
videos and they like the impressiveness of a customer walking out and they're like, you did what I asked and you didn't damage my fence and nothing fell on my house. Thank you. Thank you so much. And we're like, you're welcome. And we scuttle off.
yeah.
We don't care about how much money we made. We scuttle off because we're like, we saved the day today.
Mm,
And that's a great way to be, but you cannot take care of a wife. You can't take care of kids. You can't take care of your employees when you have that attitude. You got to take your business to the next level. And it doesn't mean having 26 crews. But a lot of people say, I tried getting bigger and it wasn't any good and I didn't make any more money.
mm,
That's because your first crew was not efficient
mm,
and your second crew
mm,
started too early and now you're working twice as hard not making any money. So it goes back to, well, I can't. It's more or less, I need help. And that's really where our industry is like, what are you good at? What are you not good at? And be okay with that. If you're not good at something, be all right with it. There's a lot of things I'm not good at. And if I forget, my wife reminds me of what I'm not good at. And in our industry, I think a lot of times people just are afraid. They're afraid of process. They're afraid of
yeah.
change. They're like, well,
Yeah.
this is good enough. But then they complain about lack of help. Well, I can't get any
Mm,
help. There's no issue with help in our country. There's an issue with finding right people and giving them hope, because you can take really good people outside our industry, get them excited about it, and show them a profitability way to be able to make more than they could
Mm,
sitting in an 8 to 5. You just got to find someone that likes being outside.
mm,
Then you train them in how you're doing it. If you're trying to find somebody that's been recycled through 27 companies, there's probably some deeper issues with
right,
that individual.
right.
So, and you're like, well, I can't find people because of whatever the society is doing or whatever laws our country has at the time. Those are all cop outs to what we can do as an industry. It's about finding people that have the joy of being with you and you give them that joy. If you have a joy as a leader of what you can do out in the world, and this is what I can do for customers, then take that joy and spread it. But if you know you don't have a joy for processes or math,
Mm.
get help. And now you're going to be better at all aspects of what you're doing. And I've seen many, many people use excuses to communicate failure.
Mm.
And that's not the truth. You show me motivated people. Failure is about stopping, putting one foot in front of the other, learning from your lessons, and moving on to the next thing.
I was going to say
Um,
failure is giving up, but growing is about seeing what
timing,
works, what doesn't work, working with
timing.
people that can help you, timing. And in fact, it was interesting what you said about arborists not wanting to be salesy when they're doing say a cutting job for a customer. I was speaking to Dave Sheridan of Century Tree Care a little while ago. One of the things that he said was it's really your obligation when you're on a site and you're doing a cutting job to look at everything else and make the homeowner aware of the problems that they have. And
100%.
you know what? If Plant Healthcare Service is good for that, you should be telling them about it. You're helping,
100%.
right?
Well, if a plumber comes in and changes out your dishwasher and doesn't tell you that the hoses coming into the dishwasher are about to
Right,
fail,
right,
if you take it as an upsell, then that's shame on you. But if you trust somebody and they show you
right.
and they're an expert at it and they're like, hey, it could be 6 months, it could be 12 months. I'm in here. You've had this dishwasher for 12 years.
Mm,
When's the right time to do it? It's now. But how do you do that? It comes from trust in who you have
mm.
around you. And how do you build trust? By making people know that you're being professional. And lack of professionalism reduces your trust.
Right. And actually, I'm curious. We're talking about how a platform like SingleOps can make you more professional for your client. I read and I hear so much about people undercutting by price. When you're using a platform like SingleOps and you have a more professional persona to your client, can you charge premium?
You can. And why is that? It's because you're explaining, just like I brought with the
Mm,
situation with the spider lift. Here's a picture of my spider lift. Why am I showing you this? Well, this is my baby. I got this last year. It's awesome. And it helps get the cats out of the trees for the firemen. Okay. Besides the point, for you, you may come in here in this $2,000 job. Someone comes in and tells you, Mr. Customer, you can do it for 1,500.
mm,
This is what they're going to use in order to do that. Your mulch bed's going to get torn up. They're going to come up with the ladder. They're going to scrape all your curb and gutter, and they're not going to make the cut being as a professional because of the fact and how they're doing it. The angle is not going to be right, and they're going to cut off more than limb that's necessary because of
mm,
the angle. Our job is to educate, and a lot of guys are like, my job is to give a price to do something. And it's like, but that's why you tell me you have a close rate of 30%. SingleOps has a close rate of over 75% for all the
mm.
estimates that are coming out of SingleOps. And the main
Right.
reason is people are using that to say, we don't know if you have one crew or 50 crews, but the concept is this is why you should do this, this, and this. And I'm showing you and I'm educating. And a lot of guys get the
Mm,
concept of what? I'm going out to train. I'm going out and I got 27 estimates to do. If you have the attitude that you have 27 estimates to do every time you show up to one person, they're going to feel that need to leave,
mm,
and you're not going to leave a warm fuzzy. You've got to walk in going, those 26 are in the truck. It's one. If this person needs me and I got to reschedule everything, it is what it is. We're going to sit here. I'm going to listen to them. I'm going to show them why. And if I know I'm going to be more expensive based on their processes and not a
mm,
referral, it's something that I got through the web. They're asking other people to come in. I know we're going to be cheaper. My job is to give them credibility and let them know that if they don't do this, here's all the other costs that may
mm.
come up to bite them if they don't think about this fully, and that we're there to help take care of them, but we're training and teaching. It's not a here you go, here's your price. Because again, if it's just price, then you're going to go with the lowest bidders. It's like like you and I sitting here saying,
Right.
all right, you got two options for a hamburger. We're going to go to McDonald's or we're going to go to Ruth's Chris. They're both hamburgers, Graham. Why does Ruth's Chris sell hamburgers? Because people are like, hey, I've been to McDonald's. That's okay, but I'd really like this to be done right, and I really want to enjoy my meal. And I'll go and I'll spend four times as much on a hamburger because
Right.
it's really unique and special for me. And that's what you got to do. You got to find your niche and find that
Mm.
niche and make sure that you're providing all the information your customer needs.
Mm. That's amazing. The more I think about it, the more I think that I don't know. I was just thinking about Apple and what they do, and it's crazy to think about technology companies and saying, you know what, you're an arborist, you should be thinking like that, right?
And you
Because
look
it's
at how many
business,
people want a new phone. How many people that we walk around in daily life are like, Apple came with a new phone? They have no idea.
mm,
But Apple has shown them over every update
mm,
that there's cool enough features that make their experience even better. And when Verizon or AT&T or
right?
T-Mobile goes in and gives you that deal, then it helps solve that issue for
Mm,
you, right? Of payments. And now it's about I need the newest and the greatest because they trust in the product and you need
mhm,
the newest and the greatest. Now it has nothing to do with what you're doing. And Apple's turned it
mm.
into a societal experiment, not into a hey, this phone's going to make you even better than the last phone was. Because let's be honest, most of the time it doesn't.
Mm,
But the cool enough new features they have every time, and the word of mouth allows them to be able to do
mm,
that. And it's the same with any part of life.
mm,
That's why they're, in my opinion, one of the best companies of all time.
mm. And
They're
I
able
know
to charge $1,100 for a phone.
exactly, yeah, for sure, yeah, with a simple message and a
100%.
premium look,
And when
and
you open the box,
professionalism.
when you open that box, do you think that you're getting a phone or are you getting something that's going to change your life?
You know what? I love the boxes. I don't care about the phones. The
So,
experience.
so if you're an arborist and you're out there and you're saying, "Here's my carbon paper," or "Here's what I'm writing down,"
Exactly.
that's the same
Yeah.
mindset. When you walk in with SingleOps on a tablet, they're
Mm,
like, "Ooh, this person has their act together. This person's organized.
mm,
I can trust this person."
mm,
That's the same kind of experience as when we open up that Apple box and we're like, "Oh, we got the new phone and the packaging has 27 pieces, like unwrapping a Christmas present."
mm,
In our industry, it's become the same because the days of just walking up to somebody going, I'll do it for $500 and you send me an invoice, those are over if you're competing against people. You have to show why your value is special, unique, and different.
mm,
And the only way you're doing it is by increasing your professionalism in the eyes of the people that don't know who you are. Even with referrals at times, still
mm,
necessary.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So here's a question for you. Came to me while we were talking. You deal with a lot of arborists. You bring a lot of people onto SingleOps. Is there a common aha moment that you see with companies that bring SingleOps in? And what are those moments? Or maybe it's a moment after a couple of months.
Yeah, that's a great question. And the main reason for me, I think, is number one's time and the second's money. It's the aha moments of having a map of everything you're going to do and a customer seeing that map and saying, hey, here's where we're going to park, here's what we need to do, and having a tree inventory so that everyone who touches that job every year knows, oh, here, this tree is doing structural pruning, we're fertilizing, we have an insect problem. You have the trees all there to be able to be used. That's really powerful. And that's the first aha. The second is one screen. You have all of your leads that you can see. You have all of your estimates ready to go. All the jobs are active. Everything you've
Mm,
completed and everything you've built out on one screen. So an arborist can come in at the end of the night, just like I was talking about, with these great ideas of, I wish I could talk to everybody I did down that street last November about all the things we did because it'd be great for me to call them all up. And we don't do it. Why? Because of time. So single ops is like professionalism and the time. And now the ability to come in at the end of the day and go, all right, single ops is basically like AI in that one screen. It's basically like, okay, show me everybody that I used, chipper number two on a Tuesday last November on this street with the jobs that were over $5,000. And single ops goes,
mm,
here you go.
mm,
Here's the 22 people that you just were thinking about. And now I can sit there and click those 22 people and send email or text and send them all a message separately, but at the same time. So that concept of I need to talk to those 22 people. I don't have time. I need to give a kiss to my baby. I need to hug my wife and have dinner. I want to sit in my chair and have 1 hour before I crash. All the times that we spend thinking about, I wish, I wish, I wish, Single Ops brings that to fruition to enable them to be able to do that. And that's hand in hand with what you do, right? It's important for people
Yep.
to market their services correctly in an area. You get that lead. Once you have that lead, you have to cherish it. It's a jewel of great price. You go, and once they agree to a service with you, at that point, you have a relationship. You're entering into a marriage.
Mm.
You fulfill what you said you're going to do, and now you communicate back with them. And it can't be, as you well know, people are going to scroll right on emails where they're just getting 27 emails in a 30-day period. You got to have targeted emails.
Mm.
And that's what, just like you teach people on the marketing side, Single Ops to manage the communications with your customer once they become a
Mm.
customer, it does the same thing. So now when someone says, uh-oh, Arbor's company just sent me something, this is pretty important. I better pay attention to it versus
Yeah.
swipe white, at nighttime. We all do it. That's the
Mm.
American pastime now.
Yeah.
Watch a show, sit on the couch, and swipe all the emails we don't need. Or the people that have 5,726 emails in their box and they never
100%.
touch them and they leave them in there. That drives me crazy. But people that are opposite of me are driven crazy by the fact that I clean my box every day,
Mm.
right?
100%.
And that's where we're at right now, right? That
Oh
ability
yeah.
to be able to
Yeah.
manage it. That's the aha moment for Single Ops for
Mm.
people, is the ability to manage what they're trying to accomplish and to save that time. So now
Mm.
you're making more money because you're more professionalism. You're saving time. And again, I did that one easy procedure and I sold 10% increase to my $10 million company
Mm.
in a 6-week period,
Mm.
all because I sent out an email about, I'm going to do Christmas lights so that
Yeah.
your husband doesn't die on the roof. And our guys you love, and we have spider lifts, let us come take care of you.
Yeah.
And they listened and they did it, but I didn't spend time marketing to
Mm.
people that had $26.50 in their pocket.
Mm. Mm.
I marketed to people that I knew would be the fastest way for me to be able to do it. Sold
Mm.
$1 million in the following year, 1.8 million,
Yeah.
all because of using my software.
Yeah. Exactly. That's great. The world we live in, we have to
It's
get away
crazy.
from spreadsheets. And
And spreadsheets are fine for a lot of
for
people to
some
get
things,
started.
sure. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
but
sure. And do you have any, without naming any names, do you have any examples of folks that have gone from, say, spreadsheets without a clue to using SingleOps and then becoming a bigger company and seeing how the platform has really helped them scale?
how many hours do we have, Graham? That's why I love what I do. That's why I love the
Excellent.
trade shows. I'm
Yeah.
flying to Dallas for Texas Tree down in Waco tomorrow. We'll be
Mm.
there the rest of the week,
Mhm.
helping people in Texas. But the concept is that it's over and over and over. We're getting that. And I get so many people now at trade shows that just want to come stand by me. And they're like, and why? Well, they want to come by and sit by and tell people, hey, I use Single Ops. I was afraid and I'm not. And it's the best thing I ever did. And that gives me the great opportunity of being a talker. If you couldn't tell in this 40 minutes
I love
together,
it.
I get to step away and I just get to listen. Because
Yeah.
when somebody else that was where they were at has dove in and figured it out, and they have a passion now that does not coming
Mm.
from a guy working from the company that's trying to say, hey, let's enter in a partnership. It's great because I sit back and then they come to me going, okay, I get it. You told me and I was kind of sold. Now your customer comes over here and tells me I'm a jerk if I don't
Yeah.
do it, and how it helped him and how he's gotten his life back. That's the gold in this industry, is for that. And that's where Single Ops has gotten to. And that's why we've become number one, is because more often than not, it's our customers that are out
Mm.
there beating the drum for us, because they know that our support and our partnership and what we do to help them is second to none.
Mm.
And so they can go out and go on a limb and tell people, hey, trust them. They'll take care of you.
Mm.
And I love that, because the last thing I need at my age in my life is to be building partnerships with people that think that I'm lying to them.
And again, I go back to TCIA when I was there, and I remember in particular one family came up to me and told me how great the software was and how great you guys were, and it's easy. And I used to be a software engineer working for venture capital companies and so forth. There's two types, right? There's the type that don't have good customer service and sort of don't believe in what they're doing, and it's all a bit of a money grab. And then there's the type that actually put a lot of effort into building those relationships, actually caring about what they do. And that's the sense that I got when I was speaking to these folks. And it was really cool hearing people talk about their experience and how good it was.
How'd that
Loved
make
it.
you feel about our relationship?
Fantastic. Yeah. Like it's just, more trust, right?
And that's what all
And
things in life is, right?
it
Everything about
is.
life is a trust.
It is.
Spouse,
Yeah.
kids,
Yeah.
business relationships,
Yeah.
corporate relationships.
Yeah.
And so building trust and building trust sometimes requires you to let your guard down. And for a lot of
Yeah.
people, they're scared because they know that, well, I don't want to talk to a salesman, or I don't want to do this, or hey, I just know this is
Mm,
not what I'm good at. Well, let's come up with a plan. Can you hire someone part-time to do it? Can you have somebody
mm,
else that is good at that's in your circle that could come and manage this for you to keep you focused on what you're happy? Because it doesn't make sense for anyone to say, hey, come spend your time organizing and running because your company be better if it doesn't help their life be better. So if
mm,
their happiness is 50 hours out in the field and you're like, do 40, 60 now, 40 and 20, well, their happiness was 50 hours and we've turned it down to 40. Find someone part time to help run this for you
mm,
that they can teach you and they can be able to help. There's lots of companies that offer phone answering services that have SingleOps as a way to be able to be done. You can find a coworker or a friend that wants to put in 10 or 15 or 20 hours, right? Not saying, hey, you don't like to do this, but you have to. But if your goal the next 5 to 10 years is really become efficient or growing, then you got to find solutions to it. And if the solution is you doing it and you don't want to do
mm.
it, well, that's going to be a fail train from the
Never
start.
gonna happen.
It's like
Yeah.
asking my 10-year-old, hey, you want to go take a shower? No, I'll
Yeah.
wait till tomorrow. No, you shower every night. That's what this turns into, right?
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
you got to be able to do that, and that's why it's about having tough discussions. Sometimes people get a
Mm,
little angry at me because I challenge them.
mm.
I'm like, so how are you going to change what you told me is going wrong with your company in the next 2 years? "Well, I don't know. I'll figure it out." You don't know, but you'll figure it out. And it's like, but you just told me that you know this is going to help you. Yeah, but I don't want to take the time to learn it. Okay. Well, think about all the hours, right? If you can take 40 hours now to learn it,
Mm,
get your statuses set, you're going to gain an hour back every day. What about that next year? 6 days a week,
mm,
300 hours. So you're like, I don't want to spend 40 hours now learning something to make me better
mm.
to get 300 hours back.
It's all about the math again.
That's where we started this.
That's where
And
we
that's
started.
probably where we're going to end it right here as well is that math. Either you know how to do it or
Yeah.
you get teammates or partners that are going to help you with being
Yeah.
able to do it.
And yeah, I mean, partnering with people gets you to grow. You can't do it as an island, right?
Creates a ripple. And
Yeah.
that's what SingleOps is all about. And as we grow and as AI continues to be moving forward, we're going to be up at the front on the surfboard, helping lead the charge. And that's because we now are the software for the green industry.
And
And
actually, that's an interesting point there. And I was going to ask you, and this is a tricky question, maybe. Um,
awesome. I love them.
and I know you're going to have the answer. So, from where you sit now with SingleOps, and you understand the industry, you understand the importance of technology, getting rid of the paperwork there. What do you think the biggest technology shift is going to be for arborists, tree service companies in the next 2 or 3 years?
I think a lot of it's going to be from how we train and how we communicate with our employees, being able to get processes down that we do so that you hire someone new as the company is growing and they're able to ask AI, what am I supposed to do in this situation? And AI is going to have the mind of ownership and leadership and the standard operating procedures. And so instead of trying to find that or saying, I'm not going to call the owner to find out what to do, everything that needs to be done, all that knowledge and information, which right now is about phone calls and texts. Hey, I'm
Mm,
in the tree. Hey, I'm at lunch. Hey, I'm talking with the customer. Let me get back with you. That is what our industry does all the time. And you
mhm,
and all the interruptions that we have because everyone's trying to find a solution using a standard operating procedure and using AI to be able to help you with the process of your staff knowing and having your mind without interrupting you is going to make things more efficient. to how things are done. And AI, it's listening to the processes. You're able to put in your standard operating procedures. You're able to say exactly what you're doing. And in that process, what it's going to do is make your companies, and this is going to be more for companies that are multiple crews, right? As they gain somebody that's new, they can ask their phone, what should I do in this situation?
Mm.
I'm here on the ground. Person's up in the tree. They've cut the limbs. When's the right time for me to go get the limbs? We talk about that being silly, but there's a lot of times that we throw people into a truck and say, "Come out the job, so I'm paying you," and that they don't have true training. And I think the more that someone can say, "Hey, I have access to everything that's been in my boss's head," gives them a fast track to move to the next level. And again, as you know, on the marketing side, you're right. There's a lot of things it's going to do to help draw the consumer to the company that's the right fit on price and
Yeah.
work. And you're working on that.
Mm.
But from our side, it's really about efficiency of crews. So that the end result is what? Customers are happy and they're getting work done for as cheaply as they can for the right
Mm.
price because the company is more efficient. And number two, we have employees that instead of us talking about how employees are, not able to be found, we have employees that are bought in, that have hope. They go, man, the more I learn, the more I do, I'm going to make more money and I can become a millionaire in this industry. There's too many guys that are 15, $20 an hour that are following people around. And it's like, when you understand that if you learn all this aspects and you build your own company, that you can be a millionaire. The green industry's made more millionaires than any other industry.
Mm.
And it's all because of having a spark to do something different. And it's exciting. And I'm really glad I got a front seat.
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's interesting you were mentioning the knowledge in AI because I'm a very technical person. I'm looking at the technology we have now, the AI we have now, and I'm seeing 1 year, 2 years, 6 months into the future how we really don't understand that much about where it's going to take us and how we can use it for our advantage. Hopefully not Skynet and
Well,
Terminators, but
every good thing that accelerates without boundaries also brings bad. And that's why
yeah,
we got to be careful with everything that we
exactly.
do.
Yeah.
But the concept is to make us all more efficient and better
Yes.
and waste less of each other's times. And I think that's really important in our industry because let's be honest, most of us on a daily basis are wasting each other's time with
Mm.
process checks.
And we have industrial revolutions time and time again, and it's a matter of actually embracing that and not being scared of it, right?
Yep. Can't be
So
scared. And that's what we talked about here. Don't be scared of math. Don't be scared of partnership.
yeah,
Have a vision for what you can do in the future and make a decision. Are you okay just dabbling along for the rest of your business life with what you're doing, or do you want to see change? And
yeah,
that's really where it goes to. And at Single Ops, we're here to hold the hand, to make the partnership a little less scary, and to help lead. And being a true leader means stepping up to tough situations, and we're not afraid of that.
so you guys are in it for the long haul.
Yep,
Fantastic.
100%.
Awesome. I could talk forever. Hopefully we can have another chat in the future. We're coming up to our time now.
Let
um,
me let me know what I can do to help. Love to do anything I can to help in the industry. If anybody
yeah,
can get a hold of me at steve.samuels at
exactly what I was
singleops.com.
exactly what I was going to ask. Steve.Samuels at SingleOps.com, and they can find you at the website as well. And I'll make sure that we get all your contact information on the show notes too. And because I think I met you 2 or 3 years ago, right?
Hmm.
And the other folks from SingleOps as well. And I was just blown away with um, the amazing humanity that there was there. So
That's what brought me to the company as well and why I've stayed here. Because
awesome.
I feel that we have a really good team of people. When you have a good team of people, there's synergy. When there's
Yes.
synergy, things get
Yeah.
done. And
Yeah.
again, it's not about selling people things they don't need. It's about
Yeah.
partnering up and finding out what makes sense. And if I meet with somebody and it's like, this doesn't really make sense, well, you're getting free help because I will help lead the direction of where you need to go
Mm.
to do what you're trying to do. Because why? Ripple is what creates our industry, and it's what we want to do as well. My job's not to sell software. My job's to partner and to help lead somebody to the right direction to move their company to the next level. And that's why I
Awesome.
wake up every day excited about it.
That's sweet. Awesome. We'll end it there. Thanks so much
All right,
for
Graham.
joining me, Steve. It was an absolute
Thank you.
pleasure.
Appreciate you, sir. I hope you have a good day, and thank you
You
for all
too.
the work that you're doing in the industry too.
Take care. Thank you.
All right, sir.